Good evening, councillors, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cabinet meeting. My name's Councillor Ann Dorian. I'm the Leader of the Council and Chairman of the Cabinet. To my left is Deputy Leader and Vice Chair of the Cabinet, Councillor Dale Broughton. Before we start, may I remind everyone in attendance that this meeting is being live streamed on YouTube. We'll now move to part one of the agenda, the preliminaries. Apologies for absence. Are there any apologies?
None, Chairman.
Thank you. Does any member wish to declare any interest in respect of any items on the agenda? No declarations, thank you. Do I have permission to sign the minutes of the meeting held on the 27th of March 2024 and the special meeting held on the 4th of June 2024? Agreed, thank you. We'll now move to part two of the agenda. And first of all, we've got the recommendations from the Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Do we have any for this meeting?
There are none.
Thank you. And do we have any recommendations from the Boston Town Area Committee?
There are none.
Thank you. And the first item on this evening's agenda is the South East Lincolnshire Council Partnership Growth and Prosperity Plan, and that report starts on page 11 of the agenda pack. This comes under my portfolio, so I'll present the report. So the Growth and Prosperity Plan reflects the vision and priorities of the sub-regional strategy for the South and East Lincolnshire Councils Partnership. It's the first partnership-wide document that seeks to capture our common objectives and priorities as a partnership when it comes to economic growth. Now, to date, we've had three separate sets of corporate strategies to refer to when we were doing one of three things, either seeking to influence partners, speaking to businesses, or seeking investment and funding. And the purpose of this strategy is to capture in a single unifying document our key priorities around economic growth, the themes that we intend to focus on, and the principles that will underpin our approach. This document has been shaped through regular briefings with members across the partnership, and it sets out 5 strategic priorities and 8 core principles that the partnership will follow to deliver economic growth. A single growth and prosperity plan for the partnership will demonstrate to external partners our alignment and our collective focus on a prosperous, productive and creative economy. It will also be useful when we're liaising with government and other stakeholders, and we'll use it as a means of helping to communicate our priorities as a partnership. And it will also be exceptionally helpful when we're seeking funding and seeking to attract inward investment to the partnership. It will help provide a basis for us to consider how and where we apply our resources going forward, so that we can ensure that the work programme going forward is firmly aligned with delivering the strategy. We have a deep understanding of our places across the partnership geography, which has been informed through our activity and funding. Although the plan is a unifying document, it does not propose a one-size-fits-all approach. Instead, it has an evidence-led foundation and is place-based. It directly responds to the issues and challenges in each of our localities. This evening, we're seeking support for the Growth and Prosperity Plan. Member briefings, as you know, have been positively supporting the plan. A separate briefing was then held with Councillor Sharp and Councillor Broughton, particularly focusing on the alignment of investment into Boston's town centre and supporting the growth opportunities for culture. So in terms of adoption, I'm asking this evening that you support the recommendations, which are that you approve and support the Growth and Prosperity Plan Appendix A and adopt the plan subject to any final consultation feedback as agreed with the relevant portfolio holders. and that Cabinet agrees to the Growth and Prosperity Plan becoming a line of inquiry in the Partnership's annual scrutiny to complement the sub-regional strategy process. Do I have a seconder?
Happy to second.
Thank you, Councillor Broughton. Are there any questions or comments that Cabinet would like to make? I know we've been through it a lot. Yes, Callum.
Thank you, Chair. 2.6, the list of proposed strategic priorities identified, obviously the top one, vibrant town centre and regeneration, so on and so forth. I'm all in favour of this this plan. I think it's brilliant, but I just want to make sure and be absolutely clear that the parishes and the rural community are also going to be included as part of this, because at the moment it seems again that there might be a bit of a focus on the towns. Thank you.
Well, we are seeking to expand our work into more rural communities. That's absolutely certain. We came in, if you remember, with a manifesto promise to develop a town centre strategy, and I guess what you could argue that we delivered on that very quickly, and that we're now seeking to expand our vision and horizon scan to make sure that our rural communities feel included. It's not wrong to say that the majority of economic activity might take place in the town centre when you're thinking of the town centre itself, but that's not to say that, I mean, in the document references LDOs, for example, that we can use every tool at our advantage to expand and diversify our rural economy to make sure that it's supporting the entire vision. So yes, it's a point well made and well done. Councillor Ghosh, Sandeep.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I absolutely amazed to see this report. It's a very detailed report. Couple of quick questions. When the project is going to kickstart, and have we decided, as it's 24-25 till 28-29, have you also decided on smaller goals to achieve and delivering in stages till 28-29?
So when's what going to kickstart? Sorry.
This the whole project.
Okay. Well, as you know, we've got a growth directorate who have been very busy in the background, seeking to attract inward investment, working with local businesses, developing a business forum, attending events like UK Reef, which Matthew might speak on in a moment and tell you about the developments from that conference that he attended along with other staff. We already have a growth director with lots of staff doing this work anyway. What the plan does is it actually brings all that work that they're doing into one document that that we can use to inform us as a cabinet and us as a council that we're on the right lines, and that it's something we can check against. We can use it, as I said earlier, when we're negotiating with government to attract funding. We can use it when we're talking to investors and businesses to reassure them that we've got a very coherent, intelligent policy behind everything that we do. So I just want you to be reassured that the work's already being done. This is just us tying it up very nicely in a package to say to the world out there, this is what we're doing and this is what we're going to carry on doing very well. But to UK Reef, would you like to speak on that? Because I think you had some exciting leads there, didn't you?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So just before I reflect on UK Reef, specifically to your question, Councillor Ghosh, around how we're going to kind of break this down, if you will. The annual delivery plan that we work to is one of the key ways through which we will do that. So obviously there's lots of projects and initiatives within this year's annual delivery plan, which are all striving to deliver this overarching strategy across the partnership and also for the Borough Council as well. And in 2028, 2029, the annual delivery plan then will also reflect a work programme which will also be trying to deliver this. Some of that we may know what that is, some of it we don't know what that is yet. It will depend upon funding opportunities and various things coming through, but that's how we'll kind of break things down, if you will. And on UK Reef, so this is a national event. It lasts for 3 days. It's a big conference in Leeds, which is all around promoting your area for investment and building connections with new investors. And we went as a partnership this year to promote South East Lincolnshire as an area for businesses to come and do work with us. So we've got some 300 odd leads that that's generated for us in terms of further conversations with a whole range of investors looking at town centre investments and cultural investments and infrastructure. But that's the kind of thing where we can go along to those kind of events with this kind of document and say we're working together as a partnership to try to deliver a really common aim across 3 districts, and that's a really powerful message for us to send to investors. It's something they like to hear.
Thank you.
Right, well, with that being said, don't see any more hands. So the motion has been moved and seconded. So if you've all finished, yeah, or we'll have a show of hands in. All those in favour? That's clearly carried. Thank you very much. To my notes. Where did I put them? Yeah. Next this evening, we have the street art policy, which starts on page 79 of the agenda pack. Councillor Sharp, would you like to present your report and propose the recommendation?
Thank you, Chair. The purpose of this report is to consider proposals for the adoption of the street art policy to enable the development of street art in Boston. The street art policy was developed and piloted by South Holland District Council in 2023 with good results, and it is now the intention to work towards adopting the policy across the South and East Lincolnshire Council sub-region. The development of this policy is also listed as an action in the Boston Town Centre strategy. For the purpose of this policy, street art is defined as any work of art on building facades or infrastructure with permission that complements the public space in which it is situated. Such work will not detract, defame or depreciate the area. It could be a painting, land art, sculpture, etc. Graffiti is defined as defacement of building facades or infrastructure without permission by use of paint or any form of marker. This is always a form of criminal damage. The policy sets out how graffiti is currently dealt with and how will continue to be dealt with as an act of antisocial behaviour in terms of enforcement and removal. It provides a procedure for giving permission for legal street art, ensuring any street art on council property meets the required standard in terms of subject and content, with a clear process if those standards are not adhered to. It is the intention to work with communities to ensure any proposed street art is suitable and representative of the place, creating a sense of ownership and enhancement to the space. The policy will be tested with a pilot project, working with the community and artists, potentially through the NPO programme. Central Park has been identified as a potential location for this as part of the work to gain green flag status. The policy also enables the potential for using street art to engage with young people and provide the opportunity to work with artists to develop their creativity in dedicated spaces rather than going down the route of illegal graffiti. The report includes examples of where the policy worked well to successfully deliver a street art project and also where it was used to remove street art which did not meet the guidelines. This policy was presented to the Environment and Performance Committee on Tuesday the 16th of April 2024. The committee was supportive and raised points around enforcement of graffiti as well as maintenance and materials used for artworks, which we will take on board the points raised and review at the end of the pilot. We now ask that Covenant formally consider the recommendations of this report and approve the policy.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Creswell. Thank you. And I'll now open it to any questions. Councillor Creswell, Emma.
I'm really excited by this policy, and my area, particularly when I think about, it says about working with partners, including schools and colleges, which I think and some of our community groups, I think is like really, really important and a brilliant way to engage them and look at what they want to see and how we can increase our cultural capital around the area with different, different areas of like street art and different ideas behind street art within our community. So I'm really excited by that. I think you've said something in here about seeking funding, and I think that those sponsorship opportunities are really, really exciting as well from our communities. For example, our local schools sponsoring areas, either including street art that promotes the communities or promotes those schools or different groups. So I think that's really exciting. So I'm really happy to second the policy.
Thank you very much. Absolutely. And working with schools, as you know, is always at my heart. Actually, that's part of the NPO as well. And as a completely different aside, I was talking to my 15-year-old son about what I was doing today. And I said I was doing this. He went, "That's really cool, Mum." And so actually, it's engaging those younger people. So yeah, definitely brilliant. Thank you, Emma.
Councillor Broughton, then Councillor Ghosh.
Thank you. I'm obviously all for this street art, and I think what we need to emphasise as well, some people's going to look at it, say street art as just pictures and that. I think a big emphasis on this can be done on sculptures as well, especially in the central park, and also going back to Councillor Butler's earlier on comment about the borough and villages and that. I think as we've seen with the Boston boys and that, I think this opens up the whole borough for a lot of things. So I'm 100% behind this, and going through different places in the country, I've seen this happen, and it really does brighten it up, and also creates a really positive talking point, and also can potentially bring visitors into the town to look at these. So I'm fully behind it.
Thank you. Councillor Ghosh.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I just say the same thing. I'm really happy to see this policy. Personally, myself is a very bad artist, but love to encourage local peoples, and yeah, it will make the Boston beautiful, I think, you know. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, if that's all the comments then, it's been moved and seconded, so we'll go to the vote now. All those in favour? That's clearly carried. Thank you very much. The next item is the Partnership Engagement Charter, which the report starts on page 101 of the agenda pack. And again, it's in my portfolio area, so I will present. So the Engagement Charter report that we're discussing here tonight follows South Holland District Council's peer review in July 23. In which they had a recommendation to strengthen how the voice of residents and communities inform future service delivery. Now, despite that recommendation clearly being specific to South Holland District Council, it's recommended that our council adopts this charter as part of the partnership's corporate approach to engagement. This engagement charter sets out the broad principles of how each council will approach its engagement work, and it makes clear each council's commitment to providing a clear and consistent approach when engaging with residents, businesses and stakeholders. The report also makes clear the difference between engagement and consultation. Engagement being a long-term relationship building function and consultation being more short-term and subject specific. Both East Lindsey and South Holland District Council have adopted the charter, with the charter having been consulted on via scrutiny at all three councils now. And if approved tonight, it will be published alongside the partnership's communication strategy and will be made public on the partnership website. So I would like to move the recommendations on page, bear with, on page 101 that you approved the engagement pledge at Appendix A. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Broughton, thank you for seconding. Any questions or comments? Yes, Callum, Councillor Butler.
Just to say that thank you, Chair, by the way. Just to say that I fully support this. I think it's vital that we engage in a succinct way with our residents and keep them fully informed of everything that we can, and that will help them understand the role of the council, basically. Yeah.
I think that's really important, Callum, in that our residents clearly want to be consulted on things, and they are very vocal, as they should be when they're paying council tax, and they've got a lot of good ideas as well, and we would be lost without them. So yeah, it's just important that we again bring everything out together under the umbrella of the partnership. Okay, well, with it being moved and seconded, we'll go to the vote then. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Clearly carried. And the last item on the agenda is the productivity plan of 24-25, and that report starts on page 111 of the agenda pack. Again, it's in my portfolio area, so I will present. So So this report came about when the local government finance settlement was published in late 2023, in that there was a requirement placed on councils to publish a productivity plan each year. This report brings forward the proposed approach for the council's productivity plan for 24-25. The advice from government has been that the plan should be brief and cover 4 key areas. And those 4 areas are as follows. A, transformation of services to make better use of resources. B, opportunities to take advantage of advances in technology and make better use of data to inform decision making and service design. C, ways to reduce wasteful spend within systems. And D, barriers preventing activity that government can help to reduce or remove. It's hard to believe that we could find any more money to save, isn't it? Because local government's been cut to the bone. But this is what government have asked for, and this is what we're doing. The plan, thankfully, should also draw from existing work. Now, as you know, our council's made huge strides in its journey to be more efficient and effective, and central to this has been the partnership with East Lindsey and South Holland councils. So the productivity plan Appendix A will be for publishing on the council's website by the parliamentary recess in July. It mirrors the plans being considered by both cabinets at East Lindsey and South Holland. And the plan draws upon our existing efficiency roadmap set out in the partnership's business case and the various strategic documents set out at 2.4 in the report. Upon publication, to demonstrate our commitment to efficiency, both financial and operational efficiencies, the leaders of each council will write together to the Secretary of State with details of our plans. We believe the approach we have taken will actually go further than many other councils. This is a piece of work that we are not afraid of, that was quite easy to pull together, and we are happy to do it, albeit just something else to do for government. So, are there any questions or comments? Yes, John.
Thank you, Chair. As I read through this, I think it's very important to highlight on page 118, where it mentions areas for government support, something we've been shouting about and lobbying government. It's good then that we record this before the plan goes off to the government. Obviously, to the fore is the internal drainage board levies, and it mentions on there about the work we've been doing, setting up a board to protect our communities, and also as regards the budget, but also highlighting the business rates, renewables, another topic that is very close to our heart. So it's good to see that within the plan it gives us another arrow to shoot, really, to express our concerns at that. So I was pleased to see the budget link there. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Yes, it's another thing to shout about as well. We're doing things as efficiently as we can, and we've got a lot to be proud of. And with officer support and the work that they do, we've got absolutely nothing to hide here at all. Yes, Councillor Ghosh.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I think a couple of points mentioned, the top bullet points you mentioned, we are already covering that in different projects and sects. So yeah, it's just presenting that report to the government, you know. So yeah, thank you.
So I didn't actually read the recommendation. So if you'll forgive me, the recommendation is that the productivity plan Appendix A, underpinned by the items listed at 2.4, I'm asking you to approve it this evening and grant delegated authority to the Assistant Director for Corporate to update, so that he can update the plan from time to time in consultation with myself. That being the recommendation, do I have a seconder? Councillor Ghosh. Fighting for it. All those in favour? That's clearly carried. Thank you very much. And that brings us to the end of the meeting this evening. Thank you everyone for your attendance. We'll now wait to go offline.